Hey guys, it's Anthony. Tesla is one of the most talked about companies, and its stock is no exception. Wondering how Tesla's stock has been performing? Want to discover the key insights every trader and investor should know? In this video, we'll uncover valuable takeaways for you by diving into Tesla's latest financials and conducting an in-depth analysis of its stock chart. So come along with me. Let's jump in and get started. Tesla engages in the design, development, manufacture, and sale of electric vehicles and energy generation and storage systems. The company was founded in 2003 and is headquartered in Austin, Texas. The CEO is Elon Musk. Tesla revolutionized the automotive industry by making EVs mainstream and desirable. It focuses on advanced battery technology, long-range capabilities, and high-performance vehicles. Models like the Tesla Model 3, Model S, Model X, and Model Y are widely recognized for their cutting-edge design and technology. Tesla's goal is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Beyond cars, Tesla offers energy solutions like Powerwall batteries, solar roofs, and utility-scale storage with products like Megapack. Tesla's autopilot and full self-driving (FSD) systems are at the forefront of autonomous driving. It leverages over-the-air updates to continually improve vehicles after they're sold, adding features and enhancing performance. Tesla leads the global EV market, influencing other automakers to prioritize electric vehicles. It has made EVs aspirational, appealing to both environmentally conscious consumers and tech enthusiasts. Tesla's stock, TSLA, is highly influential, often viewed as a barometer for the EV and tech sectors. Now, before we get into the financials, quick reminder, investing and trading involve risks, so be sure to read the disclaimer in the description before making any investment decisions. Now, let's glance through some of the news headlines going on around the web. Tesla stock falls as Trump ends EV mandate, looks to eliminate subsidies. Tesla sales dropped 1% in 2024, its first annual decline in a dozen years. Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, sued minutes after Trump inauguration. 2025 Model Y Juniper arrives with end of EV mandate. And if you're looking for a deeper dive, Teslarati has a ton of recent news articles and updates. Definitely worth a look if you want to stay on top of the latest Tesla news. Now let's take a look at Google Trends here for Tesla. We see there are a couple spikes here. One in October around the We Robot Cybercab Robotaxi event, and then another one here in January, early January. The Q4 sales were announced and they were a little disappointing year over year. And if we look at the right side, from October to now, it seems like there's a slight gradual decline of the trend. And if we look at the related topics and related queries, we see explosion, Tesla bot, robotaxi. Those seem to be rising in popularity. And queries, robovan, robotaxi, cybercab, explosion again, not a great sign. But we could also look at the top topics and queries about the Tesla as a car company, the Model Y, the price. So the sentiment is not as negative as it may seem by the recent data. I think overall the news and sentiment for Tesla seems to lean negative or bearish. Then again, negative news tends to make headlines, so you might also want to take this with a grain of salt. And the quick takeaway from this, although the news can be helpful, if you're thinking of investing in Tesla long term, it might not be a good idea to put too much weight on the news and sentiment, as they can often only apply in the short term. And if deciding to use the news, we need to make sure that we distinguish between the near-term and long-term catalysts. Now we'll dive into Tesla's financials. First, we'll look at the balance sheet. We want to know how Tesla's doing in cash versus debt. So let's get their cash and equivalents. It looks like it was 16.94 billion in 2023. Then let's grab their total debt. Total debt is 9.57 billion. Now we see that cash and equivalents is greater than total debt, which is healthy. Tesla won't need to use too much debt. Next, we want to know Tesla's debt to equity ratio. We go to statistics. We can find it if we scroll down to solvency ratios. Here, the current debt to equity ratio is 0.18. That's a healthy debt to equity ratio. So Tesla finances themselves with equity instead of debt. Next, we can check out their income statement. Let's compare their operating income to total revenue. We'll use the trailing 12 months, TTM, for more updated values. We see total revenue is 97.15 billion, and we see operating income is 8.23 billion. Now, if we divide operating income by the total revenue, we get 8.5%, which is not great. It's relatively low. So Tesla could use some improvement on efficiency. But on the other hand, they continue to be in a growth cycle as a growth stock, so we can take that into account. Now, the last thing we want to check is free cash flow. Under cash flow, we'll go to free cash flow and look at the year by year. Now, this doesn't look very good going down year to year from 2022 to 2023. And then seemingly going down from 2023 using the trailing 12 months. These declines are not great, but at least it could be lowering the magnitude of its decline since the trailing 12 months is close. Now here's a rundown of what we just went over. Now on to the forecast. Where do we see Tesla going in the next 12 months? We see an average price target of 326 in the next year from 42 analysts. A minus 22% drop forecasted. The high estimate is $528 and the low estimate is $125. We see the analyst rating based on 57 analysts rated as neutral or hold between sell and buy. We should be mindful that some estimates could be off here since the Tesla price surge was fairly recent, from November and December. Now on to the technical analysis. First, we'll quickly look at the S&P to see how the overall market, the broader market, is doing. We have the monthly time frame here. We see that the S&P is sitting at all-time highs, so it's likely the market sees some weeks of consolidation and or correction. The Nasdaq is pretty similar, too. The blue line is a 21 SMA, and it's considerably high above that. So there's definitely some risk, some room to work with going down or bearish. Now, let's look at Tesla on the daily time frame. Currently in an overall uptrend that started in October after the major Cybercab event, highlighted here by the blue dotted line. And then more recently, after a pullback from mid-December, Tesla's price appears to be in a small bounce up. Let's zoom out to the weekly time frame to find the overall longer-term support and resistance levels. On the left, in October of 2022, 414 was the previous all-time high for Tesla. We can simplify this using the round number at 400. We see on the right, recent consolidation has been around 400, so this could be a long-term support level. It also looks like there was a key level around 300, here in July of 2022, and resistance July of 2023. So following those two key levels at 300 and 400, we can then say that price staying above 400, where it is right now, could be bullish, and price staying below 400 can indicate bearishness. But even in that bearish scenario, below 400, there could be a lot of major support around 300 to keep price from continuing much lower. We can also look at moving averages. The daily 21 SMA here in blue is near price. This could mean short-term consolidation for a few days until it can create some separation. The 50 SMA here in purple is just above 380. This could add buying pressure to the upside as it's approaching the key level at 400. But it's better if we look at the weekly for a longer-term analysis. Now on the weekly, the 21 weekly SMA is around $325. So it is kind of providing support around the 300 level. But if price continues to consolidate around the 400 level, it could provide support going up. The longer Tesla's price can stay above 400, the more time this 21 SMA has time to move up and add additional support to the 400 key level. Otherwise, there is a lot of room for price to come down if it's going to test the 21 SMA soon. Now, if we look at the RSI, it's pretty decent right now. It just came down from overbought levels. But again, if price continues to consolidate and RSI stays under 70, it should be pretty decent. Now, looking at the daily for more short term, the RSI looks healthy. It's around the median, and even the average is in the median in orange. If we look at the MACD here on the daily time frame, it looks like it could be setting up for a bullish MACD crossover. As you can see here, the T line about to cross up over the orange signal line. Now let's review our key takeaways, the financials and the technicals. As we went over the financials, they seem pretty decent, especially for a growth stock. Its balance sheet looks good. And the technicals are slightly bullish, but we should be cautious about the overall market. It does seem like Tesla is sitting in a near-term consolidation phase, which can be common before earnings. But as it currently sits in a larger uptrend and strong key support below, it's not difficult to envision its long-term upside potential. I give it an overall hold for the next 6 to 12 months. And as always, this is not a recommendation, just my one perspective on the stock. If I was looking to position a trade for the short term, like within the next few months, I wouldn't do so at this level. I would have to see it come down closer to 400, then look for a breakout above the wedge. Now, I'd estimate my profit target around 500 as the next key level. I'd have to put the stop loss pretty low here due to Tesla's higher volatility. Now, depending on that potential entry, if we were lucky enough to get a buy signal at 400, I'm not so sure that the risk reward would even be worth it. It would be about a 2-to-1 risk reward, so even at that point, I probably wouldn't take the trade. Tesla announces its Q4 earnings in a few days on January 29th. This is also the same day as the FOMC meeting, so it will be interesting to see how price responds to those key events in the coming weeks. It's also good to be on the lookout as analysts update their forecasts. And remember, the market is at all-time highs, so overall risk is relatively higher than normal. I'd like to know what you all think. Do you share the same perspective to hold, or do you lean more bullish? Is anyone more bearish? Maybe due to the market around all-time highs? Is there something in the charts that I've missed? Let us know in the comments. So that's going to do it for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stocks can be tough to analyze, so I really hope this has helped you filter through some of the information on Tesla. If you like this content, we do this regularly, so please consider subscribing. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.